Hey y'all, it's Laura. Welcome back to another Cocoa Vanilla Studio video. This time we are playing with the Love Always collection, which is a very old collection from Cocoa Vanilla. It is one of the oldest in my stash, and it is one that I have not played with a great deal in the past, and I didn't pick up a lot of at times. So it's just a handful of papers. I think it was like one paper pack, a pack of embellishments, and some stickers and things, and that was about it. I think this may have been before Zoe started doing the like puffy stickers and whatnot. I think there's chipboard involved in this one. But it is a discontinued collection. I am trying to work through some of my older collections in my stash and getting them used up. Love Always was one of the ones that, again, I didn't have a lot of, and so I feel like if I make a concerted effort to use it, I can go ahead and get it finished off, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I am going to use a beautiful kind of a marbled background paper. It's like a light pink color, but it's got little flecks of like white and shades of pink. These bits and pieces that I'm taping down in the middle of the paper are from the ephemera pack, and so they're little borders. One is a ruler and the other one is just a scallop, and so those make some really nice little decorative edges alongside my vertical piece of paper. Then I'm going to use this absolutely stunning floral to back my photos. Now, I wanted to use this floral on this layout, A, because I love this floral, and B, because the black is a really nice contrast to all of these soft pastel colors. But the whole floral design didn't really work well with these photos. These are snow photos. This was the first snow in our new house, and I wanted to kind of open up the theme a little bit because this is more of it has the feel of kind of like a spring collection. And so I wanted to make sure that I was using the same colors that I wanted to use. I have black in my photos after all, but I didn't want to bring in a lot of florals that were, this kind of a strong floral theme would be a bit much because these are snow photos. It just didn't make sense in my head. I couldn't make the two match up. And so I decided instead to just go ahead and work with what I had and kind of do some minimal florals and embellishing, and that would be it. So I wanted to add some tags onto this, and this is my cheaty way of making tags is I grab another tag that's just sitting on my desk that's roughly the right size, and I go ahead and use it as a template to cut out tags in the current collection I'm working on. So that's what I did here, and then I'm bringing out my little circle punch, and I'm going to add little holes because we're going to bring in some twine. It has been quite a while since I've used twine, and I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? I think twine would add something a little extra special to this page because it's a fairly simple background. Adding in more textures is a great way to just kind of jazz up a very simple background. I knew I wanted to use this Shine, which is actually from the Midnights collection, those titles, and then the rest of the bits and pieces are from either the Cut Apart or the Ephemera pack. And I'm just digging through both of those now to kind of fill in the gaps here, try out some new things, see what I want to do. Again, I do bring in some florals on this, but not many. I think there's only two. Because I wanted this to be more focused on the snow theme rather than a floral explosion. Even though I do love a good floral explosion, that wasn't the idea with this one. And also I just thought it would suit the photos a little bit better to keep my florals minimal. So instead I went more with hearts. The first of which is this kind of large sketchy heart here, and then I'm gonna have a smaller heart up by the tags, and those two hearts really carry the embellishing a little bit more. And then of course we're gonna bring in some butterflies because why not? Are there butterflies around in the winter? Nope. But most butterflies don't come in black and white either, so I figure we can cheat a little bit on that front just to give them something a little bit more interesting. Now, this absolutely very simple background is a great way to showcase photos that have a lot going on. While these two photos don't really have a ton of background color happening, they do have a lot of action happening. We're building we're not building snowmen. We are throwing snowballs at each other and the two have some absolutely hysterical expressions on their faces. And so I want all of the attention to be zoned in on the photos, especially their faces. And so I don't want to draw too much attention away. So I'm not going to be putting a lot of embellishment off to the left side of the layout, because that is just going to draw, again, your attention away from the layout. So I didn't want to do that. And so I decided to keep all of the embellishing close to the photos. But I am going to come in and do some interesting detail work at the end that I really think helped this layout go from feeling very simple to feeling a little bit more elegant, a little bit more elevated. And I really like how this one turned out. It was a lot of fun to scrap this layout, and it came together really quickly, which is always nice. So I'm creating a sort of diagonal flow to my embellishing. So you'll notice that the gathering of clusters at the top is heavier on the right side of my photos, and then the gathering and clustering of embellishments on the bottom is heavier on the left side. And that's just one way to create a little bit more interest on your page, of not having it just feel very blocky top and bottom, but have a directional flow throughout the layout to kind of guide the eye. I'm also adding these little butterflies to break up that sort of blocky feeling as well. They kind of lift up and down from the photos and kind of trail off, if you will, and give it a little bit more linear look in a vertical direction instead of just a horizontal direction. And I really like how that adds a little bit more movement to the page. Coming in with my T-square ruler to add in some journaling lines at the bottom, where I'm just going to talk about how this is our very first snow in the new house, and how we didn't have the wherewithal to do snowmen because it was so cold. We are a lot higher in elevation now where we live in Tennessee, and so the temperatures dropped quite a lot. We didn't last outside very long, actually, with these snowballs, but they did have a great time, and it was a beautiful week of snow that kids stayed home for, which was chaos, but was also a lot of fun too, to get to go play on the snow. And being from Mississippi, previously, we didn't get snow very often, and so it was nice to get a really good amount of snow to enjoy and play in. And yeah, that was fun. Being from Michigan originally, I am quite used to snow and kind of enjoy it to an extent, but also glad that down here it lasts no more than a week and then it's gone. Because as beautiful as it is, it turns messy and muddy very quickly. So adding in a couple of the stickers from the sticker sheet, and finishing off some little bits with the twine, trying to figure out which direction to make it go. I end up deciding to just let it go kind of to the side, because I didn't, again, want to draw too much attention away from my photos. So to finish this layout off, I decided to bring in a additional little embellishing line across the right side of the page. And this, I think, really helped to give this layout a little bit more pizzazz, a little bit more interest, if you will. And what I did here is I just grabbed a couple of the die cut hearts. I did 3 of the larger hearts and then 2 of the smaller hearts in between. And I'm just going to glue those down on this line that I've drawn with my gel ink pen on the right side of this lovely vertical stripe. And then I'm going to come in with some Nuvo drops in between the hearts, which adds a little bit more detail on the page. We're going to do some black and some gold and kind of lift it up, give it a little bit more interest. And I really like how this turns out. It was a lot of fun to do. It's very easy, very simple, doesn't take a lot of time, but this sort of detail work does make a big difference on your page. And in my opinion, it really adds so much to it. It gives it a little bit more depth. It looks a little bit more polished. And that is definitely something that I'm looking for in my layouts. Now, at first I was just going to do the black, but then I decided that I really wanted to bring in some gold, partially because there is a little bit of that sort of peachy orange in the scallop in the background, and it doesn't really exist in a big way anywhere else on the layout. It is in the photos, but not really anywhere else, and the gold kind of calls back to it and brings it back around. And I really like how the gold makes that peachy strip in the background shine a little bit, and I think it helps it kind of have more purpose on the page. So that's about it for this layout. I do hope you have enjoyed it. If you'd like more information or more photos, go check out the blog, cocovanilla.com.au. And until next time, bye y'all.